But I'd constantly get headaches that just won't go away.
A Lee County man's encounter with sheriff's deputies ending with a trip to the hospital and multiple shattered bones to his face, and now he's taking legal action to seek justice. Deputies, though, reported they were just doing their job.
Yeah, but the man's family says that the incident has turned their lives upside down, and they say home surveillance video proves that the deputies went too far in their attempt to arrest him.
For In Your Corner investigator Warren Wright digging to get you more so you can judge for yourself. Warren?
Well, Dennis Daly is nearly blind in one eye, has nerve damage to one side of his mouth, a crushed-in cheekbone, and a fractured jaw. He says he only remembers the first hit from one of the deputies. When he came to, he learned he was facing charges of drunk driving, battery, and resisting an officer with violence.
Once my head was hit against the wall, I don't remember a thing.
But this home surveillance video details every second of the violent climax between Dennis Daly and Lee County Sheriff's deputies the night of September 21st.
They made the situation worse than what it was.
It all started that night when Karen Daly got into an argument with her husband Dennis, who took the keys to the family van and left the house. He had been drinking, and she called 911 because she didn't want him to hurt himself or someone else. After being notified Daly had been drinking and there were knives and a machete in the van, the deputies spotted him on Palm Beach Boulevard and followed him home. In the deputies' sworn affidavits, they say they ordered him to stop, but he ran towards the house, seen here in this video. Deputy Michael Zubia says Deputy Kenneth Sherman attempted to stop Daly by, quote, holding him in place. Nothing is said about slamming Daly's face into the wall, which you can see here. Sherman states Daly broke free from his grip by pushing off the house. While on the ground, Sherman states Daly began grabbing at his body and gun belt. Because of a bush blocking the view, the video doesn't show clearly everything that happened while they were on the ground. But you can see Daly's foot sticking out behind the bush while he takes what looks to be 7 repeated blows to the face from Sherman. Barely conscious, Daly is taken away by a patrol car. When Daly regained consciousness, he was at the Lee Memorial Hospital.
Both of my orbital eye sockets are broke. I got a crack from here to here, and my cheekbone actually went in and down.
Daly repeatedly asked for a phone but says he wasn't allowed to make contact with his family. While Sherman's sworn testimony, dated September 22nd, states Daly was taken from the hospital and booked into the Lee County Jail, that didn't happen. Daly stayed chained to the bed in Lee Memorial for 4 days before he was delivered to the jail. You can see the booking date here. Desperate, the Daly family hired Sawyer Smith to get some answers.
Thugs with badges, guns, and nightsticks have no place on the streets of Lee County. From Ferguson to Fort Myers, there's absolutely no place for police brutality. This isn't some Russian back alley. This is America, and we deserve better.
Smith describes being held 4 days in isolation before getting booked as highly unusual.
The question I want to ask you, and I also want to ask the sheriff, is this normal standard operating procedure?
It better not be.
But that's what happened.
That is what happened, and it's unacceptable.
On October 6th, Smith filed this notice to Sheriff Mike Scott requesting a full investigation. So I asked the sheriff's office for a response. Sheriff Scott replied by email saying, quote, "The matter is under review with preliminary evidence that Mr. Daly was impaired, resisted our deputy, and continued to resist despite being tased. Our full findings upon completing the use of force review will be made available to you at that time." While the sheriff's office conducts its own investigation, the state attorney's office reviewed the home surveillance video. It is not filing charges on DUI, battery, or resisting an officer with violence, stating, quote, "insufficient evidence to prove beyond reasonable doubt." But for Daly, that's not enough, especially with regards to Deputy Sherman, the man who delivered multiple punches to his face.
I really like to see justice come to him and for him to be put in a place where he can't do this to nobody else anymore. He shouldn't be on the street.
Meanwhile, family members take turns helping Daly eat through a straw and help him manage his pain.
I would feel way safer if they were off the street. Their job is to protect and serve. They did not exhibit that day, not at all.
Now, Daly's family says Dennis is afraid to go outside and physically unable to work. The family is afraid of being evicted from their home while he works on his recovery. Warren Wright, Fox 4, in your corner.
All right, thank you, Warren. Now you've heard from the family and you've heard what the sheriff has to say. You've also seen the video for yourself. Now we want to know what you think. Do you think the deputies went too far, or were they handling the situation? 239-206 Fox 4 is where you can call and leave your comments, or you can always email us as well. News@fox4now.com.